How do you do this? How do we keep on going? We just lost 2 of our party members in less than 10 minutes. They were here. They're gone now. How do we keep going?
We have to. Because if we don't, then everything we have done so far is in vain. Everything will be lost. We can't let that happen.
I don't know if I can keep doing this. I mean, I know we should. But what's the point of going on? We're probably not going to make it out of here.
I'm not so sure about that. I can't look into the future, Kent. I don't know what is going to happen next, but if we give up, then that is exactly what Strahd wants. He wants us to give up. This is what this entire place is about. This is what all he has done. He wants us to quit. He brings people here to break them. We can't submit to him. We can't let him get away with continuing to do this. But we just have to figure out how.
It's just the 2 of us now. Like, we have no one. You and I have gotten through this luckily, but we can't take him on. There's no way. There's no way.
We're not alone. We do have others. We have help. We have Erwin. And I think I know how he can help us. I would like to approach Erwin.
Okay. Erwin is currently at the bar. He is finishing up with a customer, handing the drink over, and turns back to you, sees you approaching, is already filling your next drink.
Erwin, are you able to get a message out or able to find someone?
I can absolutely do that. That is what we do here. We keep our eyes and ears everywhere.
Great.
Who is it you need to contact?
I would like you to find Rictavio.
Well, I mean, that's pretty easy. He's in his room. He just got back here like 2 hours ago. I will be honest, he is not looking great. But
excuse me. Go. Kent, please follow me. And I start to run upstairs.
Okay. Van Richten, you are currently in your room. I would say you would have gotten in, as I said, like 2 hours ago or so. Whatever we discussed earlier, that is where you guys are at, so you can be either sleeping or awake or whatever is your choice. So, Van Kent is up to you.
I would like to find whatever door is Rictavio's door and knock on it.
I would like to draw my gun and have that by my side and then painfully sort of stand up. I imagine I'm on a couple different pain herbs at this point. And strap on my patch onto my face. And, who is it?
I hit Kent on the shoulder.
It's Ven and Kent. Rictavio, are you in there? Van Richten? Rictavio? Whichever one you want to be called now.
One moment. And, you hear pain shuffling coming over to the door. And then a series of deadbolts. And, Van Richten stands before you. Van Richten now, he's dropped completely the Rictavio-esque disguise. He's wearing black leathers, kind of a patchwork cloak that looks like it's seen better days. He's got a new, fresh injury across his face, this horrible-looking scratch, kind of a claw mark, almost, maybe, that hasn't quite healed up, and you see his right eye is gone. It's been pulled, ripped, clawed out. He's bruised, looked like he's been through a real hard time, and he just considers you with his one sort of bloodshot eye, woozily.
Is it something like, sorry, just a quick question, like, Van Richten is the like personality we all know, but outside when people are around, is it just like still going with the Rictavio idea?
So you're not really sure. Rictavio was clearly his disguise. It's not who he is. He was doing that to hide his identity. But he doesn't seem to be doing that right now. He's not performing anything. He's just looking at you with a considering eye. So, you survived. Where are your friends?
A little shocked that Van Richten's like, this isn't Van. because I look very different right now.
Oh,
Ven looks very
shit.
different. Ven, would you like to describe yourself, please?
So
Yeah.
currently, I look like if you took a gold dragonborn and merged them with a drow's body. I still look like a drow, but there are scales that are growing in strategic places. My hands are now claws, my feet are now claws, and I have like a snout that is kind of coming out like a dragon's mouth. And it's completely covered in scales and like ends at certain points and like blends into drow skin.
Cool. Then I would rephrase the same conversation, but speak only to Kent. Like, oh, you survived. Where are your friends? And not even consider. The only indication I give that I've noticed you is I clearly have my pistol in my hand and it's resting.
So I noticed this, and I'm just like, yeah, Ven looks like this now. He's merged with our scene.
Hello,
It's pretty cool.
Vendrickton.
But
It is
still
me.
the same people, except that 2 are now 1. And I do this hand motion.
It's a long story. We can go into it, but we don't really have much time.
I see. Well, I don't care much. What do you want?
We have come to realize that we are in over our heads, and we need help. We've lost 2 party members.
Well, it's about time you realized it. But I'll help in any way I can.
I think you need to help Kent more than me. I have something I need to do. But I think you can still offer Kent as much assistance as you possibly can.
Again, I give you, Kent, a knowing, sort of familiar nod. All right. Well, let's get started. And I look around the room and I have a very reduced selection of possessions. I've got like one bag that has a couple things in it and my weapons, and I'm like, that's it. And I start limping after you.
Kent is avoiding eye contact at all times, kind of just like looking at his feet, having a really hard time getting motivated to do anything. You know, I feel like even when Bucky was just like, Kent, follow me, it like took him a second to get out of his chair, and did not rush to go up the stairs. Even if Ven said something like, "Oh, Van Richten's here," no excitement or, you know, rush to do anything. So even when Ven says something like, "You need to help Kent," Kent registers that in his head, but doesn't even believe anybody could help him at this point. He's kind of just lost the will to keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm. I just note all of this and then ask you, Ven. So, what's the plan? You seem like you have something going on up there.
We do have another person that could possibly help us. They are currently in Barovia. And I think that if you and Kent made your way there, you can possibly help her as well.
Who is it?
Her name is Callista. We met her in the death house when we first arrived here.
Well, shit. Sounds like a plan. I'll tell you what. I'll do this if you buy me a bottle of whiskey for the road. How's that sound? And I try to wink with my one eye. I have
blinking.
a pained gesture.
Oh my god, I like the idea that like you go to wink, but you wink with the eye that's
Yeah, it's
missing,
like,
and you're like,
oh,
oh shit, it's
God.
the wrong eye.
Oh man, that would hurt so bad.
So for a bottle of whiskey, Van Richten will help you.
Okay, so I would like to actually have a meeting with Van Richten, Kent, and Erwin and see if we can pull them all into a room together so we can talk.
Yes, you can absolutely do that. So Erwin would have still been downstairs at the bar. When you guys are up there, you guys could go back down to him, inform him of, you know, the need for a meeting. He pulls his wife over to the counter, asks her to watch the bar as he goes to take care of something, putting on a very public display of like, oh, I'm going to go handle this, just watch this for a bit, please, bye. And then goes upstairs and joins you in Van Richten's room, because that is the main guest room. What is it that I can do for you guys? It seems like something happened, and considering the fact that you were only 2 people when you left with 4, makes me think that there may have been a problem, especially with the house that's burning down. I can do simple math.
Yes, you have guessed correctly.
I'm sorry to hear that.
We are in trouble. And I do believe that you may be of assistance to me. I have a plan, and it involves all of us. We need as much help as we can get to fight Strahd. And right now, we are not ready. We are not ready to face him. We still have much work to do. And what we just went through is very evident of that. Van Richten needs to continue to train Kent. Kent has much to learn. There is someone else back in Barovia who can help us out, and I think Van Richten can also be of assistance there.
Are you referring to Callista, Ismark, Abraham?
Callista. I believe she can help us with this. I want to build an army.
Of the Ravens, I assume. I mean, we can be at the disposal, but I'm not sure we can fight.
The Order of the Silver Dragon. I am now the general of the Order of the Silver Dragon.
Erwin stops.
Yeah, Van Richten leans back in his chair and takes a swig of whiskey and gives you a considering look.
He gives you a look of, I'm sorry to break this to you, Ven, but you're aware they're all dead, yes?
I am.
Then...
But they have something in common with us. They want Strahd dead.
But I'm going to reiterate here, they are all dead, so of course
they're not as dead as you think.
Oh, joy.
The boy is proposing using undead to fight undead. Am I understanding that quite clearly?
It is not exactly what I want to do, but we are being left with very, very, very few options. I don't want to do it.
So you're gonna run off and go play
it
with some revenants while I'm actually here helping your friends.
No. We cannot be the only people in Barovia who are sick of Strahd. We have Erwin here, the Order of the Feather, who can find those people.
Keepers of the Feather, but it's okay, it's...
Keepers of the Feather. My apologies.
Okay.
We have him who can bring those people to us. Strahd is always bringing more and more people into Barovia, via the Death House or any other means necessary. But if you are in Barovia, you can find them. You can see who comes out alive. And we may be able to help them, train them, have them help us in the fight against Strahd. I do not want to use just undead. That seems very risky.
No shit.
I don't want to use undead at all. But we are left with very little options. But I would like to have as many members of the living as possible that we have here to help us against Strahd. And that is what I want to do. I want to build an army of soldiers and rebuild the Order of the Silver Dragon back to what it once was.
Well, that is news to me for them being a lot... they're here still.
Vengeful spirits.
Understood.
It's not exactly the best case scenario for them.
Well, you are correct that we do have eyes everywhere, as we have said. People that are around, you mentioned Callista, and of course, Abraham, Ismark. I'm sure Rena would like to fight, but we should not inform her of this, because it is...
We should not.
No. As much as she would like to, that is what Strahd wants. If she goes out there, Strahd will get what he wants, and that is not a good place to be. We need to keep her safe until all this is done. However, remembering back, there was a few adventurers who's gone off to the south a while ago, although I do not think they made it. There was one party that went west to the Abbey of St. Markovia. I haven't heard from them in a while, but they seemed like a hearty group of people. There was a half-orc, I'm pretty sure a human. They're married, very cute. I think they had like 3 other people with them as well. But those are the ones that stood out. If you keep an eye out for them, you may be in good place.
If you can find them for me and send them to Argenvastholt, where I will be, in an attempt to rebuild this army, maybe they can possibly be of help to us.
Understood. I'll send out some of the people around.
Great, thank you.
That is not a problem. Once I do have that information, I'll provide it to you immediately. I can't promise that they'll fight with you, but as you said, everyone here really hates Strahd and everything he's doing because he's the absolute worst. I don't know how else to put it.
My hope is that we can bring as many people who want to bring Strahd down into one place. Hopefully build at least some spark of hope.
I feel the challenge is going to be not that you will not find people, but that you will find people willing to sacrifice whatever lives they have because they are fearful. So if you are confident that you can build this undead army, because if you go and this does not work, you're just another person who died.
This is not something that has to do with confidence. This is something that has to do with necessity. It has to be done. No question.
Erwin looks at Van Richten with a look of, are you down for this?
The minute you make that comment about this is something that has to be done and kind of switch to that, Van Richten is nodding along. He seems on board. He rolls his one eye and says, all right. He kind of nervously, itches at his eye patch.
So that being understood then we understand where you were going. I will keep that completely under wraps. I will have one Raven, one of my friends, deepest, closest friends, to look out for you to make sure that you are okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I will only inform someone else as soon as I get the information about this other group that I think is still floating around here. But Rudolph, Kent, where are you planning to go? Back to Barovia, I assume.
Well, we gotta pick up this friend of yours if you think she's worth your time. Something on that side. Suppose we can rendezvous with her, bring her back.
If you guys would like to use this as a place of operation, that is plenty fine. Rudolph, your room is completely available the entire time.
I appreciate that, Erwin. You've always been a good friend to me.
You are very welcome. I will send Marcus. You know Marcus from the past. He will go with you. Keep an eye on you from above. If anything he sees pops up, he will inform you.
Understood.
Kent, what say you about this? You've been quiet.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear the beginning.
You're talking to me.
Talking to me? Talking to me. Hey, I'm walking here.
Well, honestly, I feel like if Ven is willing to risk his life to go start this order and bring these people together, we're not a stranger to losing people. So if he wants to risk his life, that's on him. I respect his decision, but I do not like the idea that we're bringing Callista back into this. She got out. She's safe right now.
I don't think she's necessarily out of this. She's still in Barovia, and as long as people are in and can't get out, they are in this. There is no escape until we finish Strahd.
I understand. I do. And I know we need her. But I don't know if I could lose another friend. But it's our only option. You two seem to be going along with it. And honestly, I don't have the strength to fight you guys on it anymore.
Then let's go.
Let's do it.
I will ask one more question, if you do not mind. Ven, you said you are the general of this place. Do you just claim that title? How did that happen?
Well, seeing as how the previous general is dead and imbued within this sword, I now have him.
I'm sorry, what?
Here, speak to Vladimir, the previous general of the Order of the Silver Dragon.
I would like to detect good and evil on the sword.
As soon as you cast it, as Ven puts out towards Erwin, and Erwin just kind of talks at it and goes, hello? You get pure evil entity coming off of this sword.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I would like to stand up and just sort of take a few casual step backs.
I understand your caution, Van Richten. Vladimir was very evil. He is under control now.
Well,
I promise you.
a wizard's famous last words there.
True.
Sure enough.
I do not hear it myself, but I will just trust your judgment.
Yeah, I mean, if you were holding the sword, you can hear him, but he is speaking to me right now, and it is... he just keeps talking and does not shut up.
I wouldn't
He
recommend,
puts his hands up.
Yeah, touching that friend.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I'll just take your word for
You
it.
do not have to touch the sword, it's fine.
Good.
But...
Would you like to touch my sword?
Here's my sword. Ooh.
Kent can vouch for me. We disposed of him. He was unfit to rule the Order. I spoke to Argenvost personally.
I'm just going to fully trust whatever you say now because it sounds like complete fabricated bullshit.
A lot has happened,
Yeah.
and if my now appearance is any clue to what that is, you can believe me completely. A lot happened.
Q Kent grabbing the alcohol from
Yeah.
Van
I'll
Richten's
share
hand.
with you.
Take him down. Mm-hmm. It happened.
We're just cowboys. Come on.
The Order has a chance to still live, and if we can build it up to be something great again, we have a much better chance of taking Strahd down.
Okay, I think you actually have a plan that could maybe not fail. And I'll give you that.
That's all we can hope for right now.
Yeah, that is the best we got here. Okay, well, I will help organize things on my end. Marcus, I will send ahead for you guys. I'll send him to Barovia, and I will tell him you will be on the road back to keep an eye out for you if he has anything to report. Whether it be good or bad, it will be good to know what is ahead of you anyway. And then I will send someone with you. If there's not anything else, I'll go back downstairs after I talk with the people and go back to pretending to be a barkeep.
Oh, la di da. Just like wiping
Washing
the bar
glasses, washing glasses. All right, and then he looks at you guys, gets nothing, and then heads out the door. I'll leaves the three of you.
I would like to grab Kent for a second.
Well, all three of you were right there.
I know, but I want to just... Well, yeah, I guess Van Richten.
You just grab him in front of Van Richten. Go ahead.
Respectfully give you the 3/4 turn away.
You grab him, kneel down. Van, this is taking a weird turn. Can
Oh my.
you? Oh my.
like earmuffs. Just like earmuffs.
Earmuffs, everyone.
Not really here.
I mean, Van Richten can hear, doesn't matter. I want to say, Kent, before you leave, this is going to be very tough for you. The journey that you're about to go on, it's not going to get better. I know this because it has happened to me. I have lost many people before. But you learn that you cannot let their deaths bring you down. You let the memory of them guide your focus and remind you of what you are doing. I want you to take this. And I give him Rosalie's shield. Let this be your reminder. Carry it with you. And never forget why we do what we do. I will speak to you again soon.
It's weird because I don't want Kent to get over this very quickly, but I feel like Ven's words, do strike a chord. And he would not go back and try to disagree with him to his face. Ven's really reaching out. So I think Kent would just remain silent. Kind of like nod, look at the shield, and just go, make it known that he listened, but his words will probably hit him better at a later time. It's still very fresh, and yeah, I think he would say nothing.
Okay. Write wifey down in your inventory. And when you're using it, still the +2. We can give you all the specs about that later.
Yes, please.
If we're heading out, I would like to say just one final thing to Ven before I go. Ven, don't forget. It is a drive for power. It is a drive for glory. It is a drive for followers that created the vampire we fought. Don't forget.
Never. I will see you all again soon.
All right. We gotta get a cart.
So, what we'll handle first is you both will leave around the same time. I'll say cinematically, you guys go out the front door. You will be heading west. Kent and Van Richten, you'll be heading east. So you give a nod to each other as you leave and start to head on your way. We will handle Kent and Van Richten first. and then I'll pop back to Ven. So, you guys say you need a cart. I would say, Van Richten, you would actually have Drusilla.
How does she look? How's my horse, Darlin, doing?
A little tapped out, tired, but surviving.
Good.
She was able to avoid a lot of what was going on, thankfully, because she was just running around in circles like, oh god, get me away.
Yeah.
But she's fine. You were able to escape using her. But your cart is still not here. So if you wanted to, especially since Kent is so tiny, you can throw him on the horse with you and head on down. If you wanted to get a cart, you could hit up the stockyard, and you can talk about purchasing a cart.
I'll buy a cart. I don't think he's up to riding on horseback for many hours in his present condition.
Understood. So you get a cart from there. I'm not going to handle money bits right now because of things. Yeah, I figured. Yes, that's not a concern. And they know you paid up last time and everything, so they know you're pretty good. So you strike up a deal, get a cart. It's not the best, but it is something that will work. And you start to be on your way on the main road east. So it is just the two of you now.
How many days would it take for us to get where we're going?
Especially with a cart, it'll take you... Last time you walked, so I would say till the end of the day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would say, just to set the mood right now, it is early afternoon, because you guys started your day pretty early before. And especially with the fight and drinking and just letting time pass in the conversations. Early afternoon. The sun is still in a overcast way. It is not really shining anything through, which is incredibly metaphorical to your point of view right now, Kent. That the brightness and jovial nature that you had is hidden behind a lot of darkness right now. It looks like it is potentially going to be raining, as it tends to do, but it is a dreary, brisk, early afternoon.
Now, is this a cart where, like, Van Richten would be up front and Kent would be, like, inside?
I think we could ride side to side. I mean, you're small enough.
I would say however you guys would like to set this moment up is fine with me.
The thing is, I want Kent to be away from Van Richten, but, like, not further enough where Van Richten can't, like, easily force him to talk if needed.
Sure.
So, how I imagine this is, like, Kent would have taken a bottle with him on his way and would be sitting as far away as possible to Van Richten and just be in his journal, you know, reading old stories from his childhood, jotting down some ideas, just trying very hard to be alone.
Okay, so I would say, like, have you guys ever been on, like, a haunted hayride before?
Yeah.
You know how, like, you have the driver's seat and then you have, like, the two long benches
Yeah.
on the sides? I would say it's kind of like that setup.
Yep.
And Kent, you're all the way at the end on one of those benches with your feet kind of kicked up onto the bench on the other side, which you're very stretched thin based on your height. But you're not really caring about your presentation right now. You're in your book. You are struggling to find comfort in that back seat. And Van Richten's in the front, keeping an eye out, definitely perception as much as possible, swinging your head around now because you don't have your other eye. Yeah, just looking around.
Dude, depth perception's way off.
It's
You're
way-
just like,
Yep.
how far am I?
I'm learning how to reshoot. It's real hard now.
Yep, you're like, oh, that's a tree. That tree is there. Uh-oh. But you progress, and the only sound you guys really hear as you go is you hear the faint howls in the distance of just the general noise in the environment. You hear the couple of some ravens or other birds flying around. These slight pencil marks or pen marks or quill marks for that matter, because we're in fantasy realm, of you going about in your journal, and the clopping of the horse. Is there anything you guys would like to do on the way?
Oh, yeah. I would like to yell back randomly. Probably we've been in about 30 minutes of absolute silence. And then Van Richten would yell out back to you over his shoulder. So, what the hell's wrong with you?
What isn't wrong with me? This whole place is wrong with me.
Openly laughing. Can I tell you a story?
Why not?
You want to know how I got this pretty little scar now that's going to be forming on my face. You want to know how I got this eye torn out?
Why do I get these scars?
Huh?
Sure.
Are you staying in the back, Ken?
I can keep yelling. I don't care.
I'm assuming it's uncomfortable for me to stay where I am. So, like, if the conversation's going, he would go to the front of the cart. Not front seat, but closer to Van Richten. So we don't have to be
front of the bench with your arm kind of over to the side, looking out towards Van Richten.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He still doesn't look directly at you. He's having to keep all of his perception on the road, but he lowers his voice appropriately since you've gotten closer. Well, I got this scar after I was defending the likes of all of you. You know, after you told me that maybe you were gonna free the land, all this shit. You know, and I really started believing you. And so I taught you how to use that gun. Just my dead partner's gun, by the way. And then all of a sudden, I'm fending off these wolves, and this girl shows up in the middle of all of them, and turns out this girl I trained just like you, and this girl I loved once, and she ripped my eye out under the influence of Strahd. And you know what I just think is so funny? You sitting here whining like a little baby bitch, writing in a journal in the back of my cart, and telling me that everything is wrong with your life? You know, I just think that's fucking hilarious. And you know what, after that? Maybe I should talk to you about my dead wife, who was killed by a vampire. Maybe I should talk to you about my dead child who was turned into a vampire, and I killed him with my bare hands. Maybe I should talk to you about that, and then maybe you can get some fucking perspective on what a little bitch you're being right now. So we have two options here, the way I see it, and just, boy oh boy, I think this situation is just so hilarious. One, you give me that gun that my dead partner gave to you, and you know what? I'll put you out of your misery right here. That's option one. Or option two is you be that warrior I saw in you, the one I taught how to shoot outside that tower, and you stick with me, kid, and we're gonna take this fucker down. Those are your two options here. So what's it gonna be?
Kent will pull out the gun. Keep it in his hands. Not really hand it over. Look it over. You were one of the first people that made me feel like I could be a hero. You made me believe in myself. But what I've realized recently is being a hero isn't like it is in the stories. You lose people. It's not all knights in shining armor or the good guy always getting the girl. It's pain. It's suffering. It's loss.
That's, I'm not a hero, kid. I'm not here to be a hero. If that's your game, that's fine. I came here to this land to die. I came here to die and to take a vampire son of a bitch with me. That's what I'm here for. I'm not a hero, but if that's something that interests you, I think you can do it. Why not? But, I really don't think journaling is going to help you get there.
You know what? I used to want to be a hero. That used to be all I wanted. Well, that and some other things, but...
Yeah. We all want those.
To be honest, I'm so fucking angry. I don't care about being a hero anymore. All I care about is taking that asshole down. And I have to die to do it. If I die in the process, well, who cares? As long as he goes down with me.
That is the first fucking thing you've said all day that has made any goddamn sense. And I pass you my whiskey bottle, which I have been nursing in my lap, balanced in between, moving along on this wagon.
I want Kent to have finished his personal bottle, literally just throw it out of the cart, hop over, and sit next to Van Richten. We can continue in silence, but just a sense of respect between the two of them. and the idea that Kent's going to do whatever he has to take this guy down. And then we'll cross what happens after it when we get there.
Good man. What are you whispering?
He threw a bottle out, like littering on my,
Oh my God.
land, dude. What is this shit?
It literally cannot get worse here.
I break it, and the DM has to clean it all up.
You have to sweep it.
You see me in the back, like just sweeping like the little janitor.
Into the
Just in like normal clothes. Just like, shit. Oh, God, I hate my character.
Okay, so as you progress, you hit the point where the windmill was, and you look over and you see the collapsed heap that's on the ground. And Kent, after everything you were saying, you were thinking back to that windmill fight and how Callista gave her life, as she looked like she was doing, for all of you. What Ven has done, and Ferguson and Rosalie, and hell, even Cinnamon Sticks. And then you think back to MacLeod.
You bastard. Why'd you have to bring him back up?
Because all of them died or sacrificed themselves in some way to help everyone else and the people that they cared about, even if they didn't know them for that long, for no real selfish reason. They did it not to be a hero either. They did it because they felt like they had to. And you have finally gotten to that point. You have accepted that it's not all fun and games all the time. You have accepted that you don't necessarily get what you want. Being a hero, being an adventurer, being whatever you would think, does not mean those things. What it means is putting everything else before you. And if there was a stat for maturity, Kent has just marked it off. So as you progress through, you pass the windmill. You pass where you talk to Strahd. You think back to when Ismark almost sacrificed himself for you guys by punching him right in the face. You cross the bridge. You get to the crossroads where Madame Eva was. And you look down and you think of what Madame Eva's position is, of how she is putting everything else before where she is, because she is blatantly betraying Strahd, even though he trusts her in some way. She's just betraying her whole Vistani people to ensure that this prophecy of the Deathwalkers comes true. And about that time is when a raven comes flapping your way and lands on the cart and starts to transform, and the wings go into arms and the feet go into legs. And before you is a blatantly butt-ass naked 20-something male who looks up at you as beak transforms into his face. And he goes, "We have a problem." Then, you are currently on the road back to Argynvostholt. And you have your sword on your back. And even though you're not really gripping the sword, you have made enough of a connection right now to Vladimir, and you have an open connection. And you hear him in your head, as you have for the past couple hours now, just talking over what semi-bullshit you were spewing.
I do not believe appointing you general was anything that I did, Vendalar Greymire.
No, but you don't seem to be able to say much about that right now, do you?
Well, considering you were hearing the voice in my head, yes, I have very much to say about it.
Alright, well, let me ask you a question. What was it to be a member of the Order of the Silver Dragon? What was their purpose? What was your purpose?
We were followers of the Morning Lord. We made sure that the lands around us were not going to be corrupted by evil. We guarded Strahd as best as we could. Apparently that failed, but the other forces of evil away from the Ember Temple. People were not supposed to go there. It is a house of pure evil. There is nothing good, nothing even remotely amazing about that place, besides how much it can rail your life over. And your grandmother decided to go in and betray that order. The order stood for protection. I do not trust you to make those kind of judgments.
So what you are telling me is that you failed.
As has your party, apparently, and the previous owner of this sword.
But I have not. And I want to pick up where you left off. Your intention when you were corporeal was to keep Strahd where he was, which,
Yes.
if I am not mistaken, goes against everything you just told me your goal was to do. To rid the lands of evil, to remove evil from everything in this land. You have failed at your duty, the one true duty you were supposed to do. Someone has to take your charge. I think we should work together. We want to bring peace to Barovia. We want to remove Strahd and free everyone from this land. He has done nothing but harm, and your petty quarrel with leaving him here does not excuse the lives of thousands of people that have been taken by him, the lives of thousands of people that suffer every day they are here.
You say we failed, and you are correct, we did. So apparently maybe that was not the option that we had to go about. As you failed, and you have changed your course of action. Between failures, you realize the things that you should and should not do. That is the nature of experimentation. It is the nature of life. You find the path that you are on, realize that it is a dead end, turn around and go somewhere else. You find your path. Not every path is straight. Every path has ways to go. Ours was to remove the evil. Now, it is to contain it. We do not know what will happen if we kill Strahd. Do the borders of this land open up and can filter out into all the plains? Do all the werewolves and vampires and evil spawn get released into every other entity of life? We don't know. We should keep him here. The people here, they're screwed. There is no way around that. But at least it is them, and not everyone.
I don't think that we are going to come to an agreement on this, but
That is the first thing I agreed with.
here is the thing. You have men still at Argenvosthold. Yes?
If you can call them that anymore, yes, I would go with undead. Sure.
Sure. We can restore the order to what it once was with the help of these others. We can bring those who are here that have power, those who have strength and are willing to fight. We can bring them, join them together, restore the order. And what we can do is, over time, remove some of those issues. Go through them. When we have numbers, we can defeat much of the darkness here and eventually take down Strahd. That way, if that which is here can get out, it will be in much fewer numbers, and we can contain, while those who do not need to suffer can leave.
That is a very good point. If we can knock down the numbers, understandable. However, I will make 2 points of reference. 1, I am stuck in your sword. I'm not fully convinced, but I see your point. I am not the one you have to convince to fight with you. You would have to talk to Godfrey and the rest of the revenants that reside in Argenvosthold. You can talk to Argenvost all you want, but he's not leaving and doing shit. So you'd have to talk to them.
Well, perhaps you can possibly help me with that.
I can try. 2, I will not help you fight Strahd. Period. The armies of Argenvosthold should not help you fight Strahd. However, I will go to your point. We will lessen the evil that is in the surrounding land. That I will do. That I am okay with. But I will not take part in killing Strahd myself. Do you understand my point?
I don't think you have to worry about that.
Good, because it wasn't going to happen anyway.
Yeah, I figured.
However, I do agree with your point. I will reiterate. If we do lessen the evil that exists in the land, then if what I predict may be a cause of knocking down the walls of Barovia, there will be less of a problem after the fact. I am okay with that. That is taking the suffering out of the rest of the world. I can get behind that.
I think that should be our course of action. That is what I am trying to do. I am trying to restore the order so that there can be a spark of hope here that the order once was. We can give people the inspiration to fight, to not just remain weak in their homes. That to think that there is a chance that they can stop it and do everything that they can to fight, to take out any darkness that is here. Me and my friends will take care of Strahd. We need the order to help us lessen the casualties.
You need the order to keep order. I get what you're getting at.
Exactly.
I will make one last request before you talk to who you need to talk to. If Godfrey does agree to go to war with you, which given how you are speaking, your role, and it seems that Argenvost has your back, since he sent you up to me to grab the cloak, give me to Godfrey. I will become the general that I am meant to be. I am the commander of the Order of the Silver Dragon. I will want to command my army. Let me do the purpose I want to serve.
I will do this on one condition. You help me get a new weapon. And then, and only then, when I have the weapon meant to be in the hands of a soldier, I will hand you off to Godfrey.
Do you have any weapon in mind?
As a matter of fact, I do.
Okay, we cut back from there to the cart with Kent and Van Richten. There's a problem. Up ahead, you will see that you have some smoke coming out of some buildings. And as you guys look ahead, you see that there are 2, then 3 small pyres of smoke coming out from over the treetops in the distance of Barovia. It seems that Strahd is there now. So, that's the thing. He is burning buildings. There was a blue dragonborn walking through town. He was slaughtering people. And he is now in the house that you initially came out of, Kent, I believe. But Strahd is going around just murdering people with this guy. And now places are on fire. Where was Callista?
We're headed that way now. We're going to find her.
I know. Do you know where she was? Any building? Did she go back to Barovia itself? Do you know where she is?
I don't know exactly where she is, but I know she was going back, and she should be there. That's where she is.
Shit. Okay. I'm going to go and fly around. I'm going to keep an eye out for her. I remember what she looks like. I just do not know where she is. I didn't look around. She didn't look like any of the dead bodies, but I will keep an eye out. And as he goes to launch, he stops and says, "Everyone, stop, move." And right up in the sky, you are seeing a flaming horse fly up from Barovia towards the castle.
Oh, boy.
Please make a stealth check.
Great. Van Richten is super good at those. Hang on.
Make an advantage for this, because you guys are on the road and far away.
Both of us?
I'll have both of you. Yeah, sure.
Okay. I got a 19 on stealth.
17.
Okay.
I was right, by the way. Callista is at that town that he's going to.
Right.
Yeah.
That is where you were told that she was last seen.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't misspeak.
Sure. Let me just grab my pen.
There's only 3 towns in this world, luckily, so...
Yep.
We were just in one of them.
I had a 50-50 shot, and I
You did
nailed
it.
So
You did
you
it, kid.
see the familiar form of Strahd and his nightmare horse flying towards the castle, but seems to give you no mind. But you are seeing that the fires are becoming a lot more prominent the more the time goes by. You are, I would say, still a half an hour away from the city.
I think we should hurry the fuck up.
The second we see the flying horse, Kent grabs the reins and mushes
My buddy.
the horse on to
Okay.
move faster.
You guys both grab the reins and go. Marcus, like, I'm going to go look ahead. I'll let you know if I see anything else. And changes back to a bird and goes right off.
It's a little off-putting, especially since he's just been naked next to you the whole time, Kent, and he's just like feathers everywhere. It's weird.
He's like standing and his like junk is Kent head height. He's just like,
hello.
fucking already angry Kent.
Luckily,
is just like,
it's
this
cold
fucking
here, so
pokes me in the eye one more time. We're gonna be having a problem.
Okay, so he flies off and you ride towards Barovia, and instead of a half an hour, it turns into 20 minutes. And you look and you see 3 buildings are blatantly on fire. You don't recognize their buildings, they're just regular homes. But you look at this town and it is not quite how you remembered it. There is blood paving the way back to the death house itself. You look to the left to where the church is. There's really nothing going on inside. Last time you checked, there's no reason for people to be there because Donovich hung himself, if you remember correctly. You look towards the inn. Inn seems pretty quiet. No burning, no nothing. It seems pretty untouched. And then you look to the right, towards where the Burgomaster house is. And it's not on fire, but you do see that there is blood smeared all the way up to it, and some bloody words that you can't make out from this distance on the front of the house.
Kent runs over towards the Burgomaster's house. Without referring to anybody, just runs to the blood.
okay. Well, we're on the cart. Can we take the whole cart, or do you want to just run on your little tiny legs?
Oh. Well, Kent steers the horse towards the
Okay, there we
Burgomaster
go.
house.
So cinematically, let's go with you. Turn the cart. The cart kind of picks up off its side as you go, and it catches itself and goes. And the closer you get, as soon as you're right just about there, Kent launches off of the cart itself and just runs and picks himself up and jets towards the house. And you see blatantly in a blood, like there's nothing about paint about it. This is blood. It says a house for a house. Make a perception check, please.
Oh shit!
24.
Yeah, I'm at 26.
Okay, you both see that at the end of a house for a house, you see a body very haphazardly tossed to the side of an older man with a cane next to him. And all forms of armor and clothing are shredded. And the tied back hair that he had is just removed from his head. There are spear holes through his body, and if you didn't know that this was Abraham Kent, you would have no idea how to identify him.
Is he dead?
He
Super dead.
super
Making
dead.
sure-
Super
guys,
dead.
D&D death works differently. You know what I mean? Like, we could have brought him back.
That's true.
If he's like, there's so many holes in me, help. We could have brought him back.
And it's like he's done, and you see that the front door is actually like cracked open.
Can I close Abraham's eyes?
And you run up to Abraham or walk up slowly, because that'd be run up and then run away. No.
I have my gun covering in case anything comes out of the house while he's doing this foolish thing.
Are you still on the cart, or are you getting down?
I am still on the cart.
Okay. Van Richten is still there with the gun trained on the front door. Kent, you are over to Abraham, which is like 20 feet away from the front door at the end of where the blood smear is. And you're up to Abraham's body, and he's gone, man. His eyes are slightly open, and you go down and close his eyes for him. His skin is just pale, and the blood is removed from his body, man. He's tapped out.
Kent's anger just starts rising within him. He puts Abraham down and runs to the front door.
Shit. I'm gonna start hobbling after.
Okay, so you get down from the car and you start to hobble after. Kent, are you going through the door?
Through the door.
Cool. As soon as you go through the door, you hear a...
No.
And you watch as the door opens. There are 5 lanterns that slowly start to fall from the ceiling. Not slow motion, but they're just slowly going. And in front of you, about, say, 20 to 30 feet away, in the main foyer area, there is a makeshift gallows. And all of the floors of the gallows go... As you watch the bodies of Ismark, Callista, Freak, and his sister which are the two kids from the windmill, all drop and are hanging from the nooses put up on the ceiling. You watch as Freak's sister and swings.
Taking Initiative is a product of the Spark Network. Imagine what your idea can do. For updates on the show, future news, and all things nerd, visit us on thespark.network. If you wish to conjure us on social media, you can cast message on Twitter with the handle @TI_pod, Facebook at the Taking Initiative Podcast page, and Tumblr at takinginitiativepodcast.tumblr.com. If you enjoyed the show, please leave us a review on iTunes, as it helps us grow so we can put out more content for you.
I'm Josh Perot, and I'm the DM. You can find me on Twitter at XyroxisTheBeard. That's XIROXIS the Beard.
This is Jonathan Buckmaster. I am the voice of Vendelar Greymeyer. You can find me on Twitter at Bucky_Masters.
This is Nicholas Figueroa, and I play the sometimes rude but always lovable Kent Brickwood of the East Farthing Brickwoods. You could find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Nico Figs. That's at NIKOFIGS.
And guest starring Celeste Konowich as Rudolph Van Richten. You can find her on her podcast, The Venture Maidens, or on Twitter at C. Konowich. This episode was edited by John Buckmaster and Josh Perot. The original artwork for the logo was created by Kati Kawaguchi of Nerds on a Roll. You can find her on Twitter at @KidKatie. All modifications for the arc were done by Josh Perot. The theme song was created by Neil Martin of The Lucky Die. You can find him on Twitter at Bardic Martin. All additional music found in the episode was created by Kevin MacLeod and the Incompetech website. Any additional information about the songs played in this episode can be found in the episode's description. The Pendragon class, played by John Buckmaster, was created by Dareside Phantom on Reddit. The Gunslinger class, played by Nick Figueroa, was created by Matthew Mercer. The D&D 5e rule set and the Curse of Strahd module are both property of Wizards of the Coast. If you enjoyed the show and would like to support us, please visit us at patreon.com/Taking Initiative. There you can find early access to episodes and bonus content.